Hello everyone, and welcome back to Diablo the Roguelike. I want to start today, our second episode, with an apology, and the reason for that is I should have known who Kornel Kasielewicz is. I know his name, now that I think about it. When we were signing out from yesterday's... let me just turn this down a bit, it's very loud in my ear. When we were signing out from yesterday's game, I recognize the fact that it said, well, you can see right here, chaosforge.org is where you're told to contact them. And I thought, I know Chaos Forge. Why do I know Chaos Forge? And of course, the reason is Kornel and Chaos Forge are both very well-known staples in the roguelike community. In addition to creating DiabloRL, Kornel created BerserkRL, AliensRL, which I've played a little bit of and I'm very, very intrigued and want to get to more of it eventually. And perhaps one of the most popular roguelikes of the last several years. He created DoomRL based on the Doom video game. So with those things in mind, I really should have recognized who Kornel is. And I apologize that I didn't put that straight up front. He, like Jeff Late, he is a form of roguelike royalty. It also comes with bad news attached because Mr. Kasielewicz has moved on recently to a new project called Jupiter Hell, which is a spiritual successor to Doom the Roguelike, but I think his own IP, I'm not sure. They just did a very successful Kickstarter campaign, so he's moving into a more commercial roguelike territory, and based on that I find it unlikely that he'll be returning anytime soon, certainly, to continue work on DiabloRL. So this is likely either the finished product or the finished product for now. I did see online at some point he put the code up on SourceForge, so if somebody else wants to pick up the torch and run with it, perhaps they still can, I don't know. Okay, all that in mind, let's jump into the game. One other thing I should mention is, unlike... Oh, there we go, load again. Unlike the previous 2005 7-day roguelikes we had to look at, where there really wasn't much information about the games online in terms of... there were no Let's Plays, let's say. There are several Let's Plays of DiabloRL, perhaps owing to its subject matter. It's a very popular IP, Diablo. And perhaps owing to the fact that, unlike those first two games I mentioned, this game has gone on to be worked on until fairly recently, about 5 years ago. So, when the YouTube world was really rolling out, it was still under development and perhaps got more attention for that reason. The good news in that is I was able to watch one of those videos and garner some knowledge. The first is, let's actually, before I even dive into what that is, let's check and see what we've got. Are we ready to go? No. We are not ready to go, but I'm going to show you this this cool thing you can do. If you press the tab button in Diablo the Roguelike, it comes with a fast travel menu. You can actually fast travel. You can use your mouse here too, I think. Again, my mouse and your mouse are not aligned, so I'm using my mouse right now to go up and down this, but I'm sure I could use the keyboard as well by, just using the keyboard. You can fast travel to any character you want or back to the church to go into the dungeon. So it's pretty kind of cool. It's very cool. I guess you can't fast travel to things you haven't discovered yet, and because we didn't set the option on to pre-discover the entire town, the way it perhaps is discovered in the original Doom, we don't know where Wirt and the witch are. Adria? C? What the hell are these things? Oh, L to look. What is that? It doesn't say what this is. Interesting. It's just a blank thing. I don't know what a C is. Oh, it's a cow. That's right, of course. Yeah, he did a fairly faithful recreation of the original Doom game here, in terms of its layout. We're doing a tiny bit of... Oh, here we go. Adria.
I sense a soul
in search of answers. We're going to sell. This is where you can sell some of your stuff. The short staff we're going to sell. And we are going to sell the Book of Firebolt, because I don't think we're going to make a character that you can cast even the most rudimentary of spells, so why not? I do also know from watching one of these Let's Play videos that there is definitely a way to access that quick slot. I'm going to try Q right now and see what that does. It might open our quest log. It's another thing you can do. No. Okay, so Q is your quick slot. So we could go to here and hit what... I to store. Let's pull it out of our quick slot. Q. I wish it didn't pull out. I wish you could stay in this mode. Good enough. Let's go sell these to her.
I sense a soul in search
So
of
you press Q to
answers.
access your quick slot when you're in just the general walk around mode. When you're in your inventory mode, if you press Q on one of these items, it will store it in your quick slot bars. So that's pretty cool. We know how to do that now. And I think if you press J for journal, it tells you some of your stuff that's going on here.
Please, listen to me.
So there you go. You can see
Archbishop Lazarus.
you can see what your current quests are, if you have any. Let's go find Wirt, so he's on the map. So we can fast travel to him if we so choose. Where the hell is he? I don't remember, to be honest with you. It's been, as I said, it's been 12 years since I played this. He's near some like a cliff face. Maybe over here? Maybe across a bridge here. I'm gonna guess he's over here somewhere. Where are you, Wirt the Squirt?
Psst, over here. Don't trust everything the drunk says. Too many ales have fogged his vision and his good sense. I know more than you think about that grisly fiend. His little friends got a hold of me and managed to get my leg before Griswold pulled me out of that hole. I'll put it bluntly. Kill him before he kills you and adds your corpse to his collection.
There's a frantic child. Before he adds your corpse to his collection! He sounds like he's, I was gonna say he sounds like a salesman, but I guess he is a salesman. So perhaps that's not so unusual. Oh, let's just use the fast travel, even though we're right here. Let's fast travel to stairs to church level 1. Now within here, if we'd had the stairs to church level 2, we could also do that. So it's interesting that the fast travel system saves a lot of time. As you can see, as in the original Diablo and as in some other games we played, like the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, when you kill monsters, they are permanently gone. Also having time to reflect on what I saw yesterday. There are two... I can do this, can't I? Let's do L to look around. You can... in the original Diablo, you can press Tab to turn on your map. Of course, Tab is a fast travel here. But you can use the look key to sort of scroll the map around and see where you gotta go. So that's pretty cool. Hadn't occurred to me to do that yesterday. Press Escape to get out of that. Two things I want to comment on based on what we saw yesterday and what we learned about the game. The first is... just look at this map. It's a really exceptional map generation. We got some a circular room up here and some square rooms and some hallways and some of the rooms, like if we look around, you can see they have, like, I don't know, little branches off them that are just I don't know, maybe I'm not finding the best examples right now. As I said, I watched a video too where it also occurred to me. They've got some pillars in the center of them, this kind of thing. Really nice generation. So first of all, just on its own, on the face of it, a really interesting map generator that creates these levels. I don't know if Mr. Kasielewicz actually accessed the Diablo code to generate these levels, because it also is remarkably similar to the levels generated by the by the Diablo code. So really, really well done adhering to Diablo, and also just fucking great map generator. I'd love to get my hands on it and figure out how you did some of this, because I'm not entirely sure how some of this works. The second thing I will say, having A, played yesterday, we used a short bow for a good chunk of yesterday, and B, I watched a gentleman playing yesterday as a, I don't know, Let's Play video as a rogue. I don't remember enough about the original Diablo to know if this is, accurate. Maybe it is a very, very accurate form of how the enemies react in that. Maybe it's an accurate duplication of the AI. Or maybe it's not. But I do know that when you're using a bow, you're not taking a lot of damage. It seems a little simplistic to me. Drink and be refreshed. So this particular shrine appears to have given us a potion of healing, which we will get. And a potion of mana, which we will get. We will immediately pull out of our quick slot. So we can... Oh, I didn't mean to... Did I? Maybe I did it. You put them in full mana in your backpack. Yeah, I did. Okay. We're going to keep using the short bow for this first level, because to be honest, again, based on my recollections of how that original game worked, the bow was pretty effective on the first level. But I think with level 2, even though I mentioned before, we're going to try and play and we can't win. We definitively can't win because the game isn't endable. But normally we would play to win to the best of our abilities within the constraint of what a game is. But I want to get a better sense of of what this game was in comparison to the original Diablo, and that I knew as a warrior with a wading in with a sword. So we are going to switch over to a melee weapon soon, even though I think, and I could be wrong, and if you've had experiences that lead you to believe I'm wrong, then tell me. I'm trying to learn. I think the optimal play style in Diablo, the roguelike, is to play as a rogue or to use a bow, because I think you're safer perhaps than you would be in the original Diablo using this methodology. But we're not going to do that nonetheless. We're going to... I'll identify this bow by pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is it? It's a weak short bow of flame, so it does 41% less damage, but does 2 fire damage. That's interesting. I don't know if I want to use that or not. I won't bother right now. Given we said we were going to stop using stuff. Riches abound when least expected. Did I just gain some money, maybe? Maybe I increase my money? I don't know. Like I said, we'll keep using the short bow for the moment, but we'll probably abandon it soon and go over to our sword. Certainly by the time we hit level 2 we will. Not because I think it's a good playstyle, but because, to be honest, the game just feels kind of too easy using the bow. And I'm hesitant to say that that's inaccurate based on the game. I didn't play a lot as a... I didn't use a lot of bows back when I used to play Diablo. I used some, occasionally. Should also be pointed out, the original Diablo had a graphical interface for your inventory. You sort of had graphics that represented things that took up a number of squares. You can see how many number of squares they would have taken up here, I think. This is saying this would have taken up 6 squares, Rags would have taken up 6 squares, the Buckler took up 4 squares. And you'd have to fit it into the squares there. In this version, it just gives you the number of slots, and you have 40 inventory slots, which is simple. We've used 28 out of 40. But I didn't recognize that yesterday. The Rags takes up 5, and the, or rather 6, and the short staff takes up 6. So we may ditch like the Rags soon. They're not worth much. We'll see. Maybe not. Yeah, this bow just feels a little too easy. Like things are not getting even close to us. Now again, we're on the first level of the dungeon. There would have been a lot of levels. Not in this method, or not in this rather version. Oh, he's out of range. Interesting piece of trivia too. I've mentioned before that Diablo was very much inspired by, according to the designers, by, as far as I knew, Moria, but I've seen other people say Rogue as well, so perhaps they mentioned both. But not only that, the original Diablo game, as created, not just as theorized, but as created, the original Diablo was turn-based. It didn't release that way to the public. I think the publishers took a look at it and said, it's not marketable. Nobody wants to play a turn-based game in this day and age, and forced them to change. And, you know, although I would have loved to have played a turn-based Diablo, they created essentially a new genre. There were no real-time roguelikes back in the day, and I don't know a better way to describe what this game is. Keep that for now. But yeah, it did begin as an actual turn-based roguelike, is what it was. And also worth noting, because...
I can't carry anymore.
Well, you're going to have to. Let's ditch our rags. Our shitty rags. Oh, I didn't mean to put that on. Inventory. Put back on our fine rags, which are still in perfect shape. I meant to do D for drop. Drop these shitty rags. Get out of here. Get this. We got a few more items and we'll head back to town. It's much faster to go back to town now that we know how to use the tab button, so I can make more frequent trips. I was worried about the trips to town yesterday. You heard me comment on it because, you know, as I said, I'm still rolling out videos of a Moria playthrough, and in that game, you know, trips to town, they stack up. When you're playing a game that takes, 100 hours, and you got to go back to town every, 30 minutes or so, every 40 minutes anyway. It does stack up over time.
Where would I put this?
On your back. But don't bother, you don't need it. So it was turn-based, yeah. It's also interesting, I have a real... I leveled up. Let's go to C for character. And let's put 5 into our vitality. Let's make sure we survive. Survive until we hit whatever end exists in this game, if we can. I have an extreme passion, which I may have mentioned in other videos, for a bizarre extreme passion, for conversions. When people take data from one format and convert it into another, especially in game form. I made years ago a board game based on Wing Commander, and I really loved taking as much hard data as I could from the game, the actual pitch and yaw ratings of the ships and the cruising speeds and damage ratings, and converting that into data that would function in a board game in a functional way. So I get very excited when roguelikes convert like that. I don't know Bomberman well enough to say, okay, Bomber Rogue was an awesome conversion. I think it's a great game on its own right. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'll come back to that in a second. But it's also interesting, of course, because it is a conversion of another existing game. Obviously, Diablo is likewise a conversion of an existing game. In the same way that the Warlock of Firetop Mountain is a conversion of an existing game. With Diablo, although I'm very, very impressed with how accurate it seems to be so far, and on top of that, it is a good roguelike. There's no getting around it. It's a solidly designed roguelike, with the possible exception that missile weapons are a little cheap to use. I'm not sure. That said, it's hard to feel the same passion for the conversion, I guess, because it's converting data from one format to essentially an identical format. As I said, Diablo was a roguelike, and essentially what you've really done is converted a roguelike into another roguelike.
No room.
Well, I'm going to have to make room. That's too valuable to leave behind. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to be converting from one thing to the same thing, essentially, if you can follow what I mean. I don't know what those things are that I've opened, those quotation marks. I haven't yet figured out what those are. Let's drop something. Whoops, I don't mean to do that. Damn it. Well, let's drop the scroll of healing for now. And we'll come back and get it in a minute. Let's pick this up and let's go back to town. Stairs to Tristram. See how easy that is? Let's go right to Adria. That is, and that's actually not even in the original.
I sense a soul
original
in
Diablo.
search of answers.
So again, bonus points, Mr. Kasielewicz. That's freaking brilliant. What a great way to cut down on tedium. Let's sell the potion of full mana. Let's sell the short staff of healing. Let's sell the potion of mana, the book of firebolt, potion of full mana, and the book of holy bolt. We'll close this. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to close. Apparently I sold something. That's alright. Why am I dying? Again, that's one thing. Again, if you ever do see this, Mr. Kasielewicz, and if you ever return to working on this game, and forgive if I'm not trying to be impertinent in making suggestions. It's just, I play a lot of roguelikes. It's just something I'm observing. It's a little hard to distinguish those
Greetings,
those
good
words
master. Welcome
from one
to the
another.
Tavern
So
of the Rising Sun.
it can be hard to tell what you've selected.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
Yeah, let me sell your stuff. Maybe. Like this weak short bow of flame. Now, what would I use? Would I use the Saber of Vitality, which gives us +4 vitality, or the small axe, which would do more damage? I think we'd keep the Saber of Vitality. Let's sell the small axe. When in doubt, go for magic. Matter of fact, let's sell him our...
What can I do for
let's
you?
just follow through with our threat and actually start using the stuff we... Oops, we press tab to go in here, right? See, now we're pointing at the short bow. Let's press enter. Then we press tab again. Let's equip the buckler. I don't like the fact that it dumps you out. That might be accurate to the game, in which case, if he's trying to do as accurate a conversion of the game as possible, then it makes sense to keep that. But if you're trying to do as accurate a conversion of the game as possible, you wouldn't have the fast travel in there, so... It's annoying that it dumps you out when you're trying to organize your inventory. Oh, we want to sell that short bow. Let's get a sense of what it would be like to actually play as a... Let's get this off the fucking screen.
Whoa,
As a warrior.
what can I do for you?
As a warrior proper. Find out if it makes the game a little more challenging. Now, that was the first level. It's not supposed to be challenging, but as I said, I watched somebody else playing, and they were playing as a rogue, and... You know what? Let's see if he's got anything else to buy. What am I doing?
Whoa, what can I do for you?
The premium items, he's got an Axe of Light. That's pretty cool. Do we have enough money? How much money we got? We do have enough money. Let me see further and do some serious damage. This would be better than my rags. Damage plus 2. Ooh, baby. I think we're going to go with the Axe of Quality. Let's buy that. Let's leave here. Looks like you got some new stuff as soon as I bought that. That's weird. I don't remember the game randomizing stuff that fast. I need 2 hands free. Oh, that sucks. Alright, well, still. Forgot about that. Enter. Enter. Enter.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
Sell. Saber of Vitality. I'll keep the buckler for now, just in case we find a... Nah, why? I can just buy another one. Why have the inventory slot tied up? Okay, let's use our awesome fast travel to the stairs. That is fucking brilliant. That's awesome. Cape. Scroll of Healing, we got a bag. We can sell this. The little yellow square seems to be a chest that's not been opened. The gray square is opened. It might... axes might kill multiple opponents at once. You see that? I forget if that's... if it's happening here, I'm guessing it's the case in Diablo, but... We're not doing as well as we were before, are we? This thing. Game is definitely harder as a warrior. Like playing without a bow. Speaking of which, we could just switch back. But I'm not gonna. Let's do this thing proper. Can always get better armor, so we're gonna have to save up to get some better armor if we're gonna wade in hand to hand here. We're wearing fucking rags and a little cap. Is that the level? L. I think we're just about done the second level. We can head down. If that's the case, we can fast travel to the stairs to the next level. At first level, I guess we're almost done. That'll be cool. I think we're done. Alright, let's do that. Let's do escape from this, fast travel. Stairs to the church to level 2. And there we are. What is an A? I'm used to that being an ant in a lot of things. It's obviously not here. Oh, skeleton archer. Now you wish you have a bow, don't you? Burning Dead. I think they have a... Let's drink one of our potions here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they have what are those guys? Fiend. I recognize that sound, like that's ringing out. I remember that sound very well, but I'll be honest, I can't picture what that creature was. Is it just like a scavenger? Is it similar to the scavengers we saw? Carver. These are like the fallen ones, but a little tougher. They're a little less cowardly too. They won't run quite as easily. Gonna need better armor if we're gonna keep going in hand to hand. Yeah, it's a fiend. I don't know if you can learn anything about them. I don't know if that's possible. Let's try pressing enter just to see what happens. Yeah, just curious. Back in the day, I think in the original Doom it doesn't tell you how much experience you gain when you kill a monster. I used to actually sit there with a pencil and paper every time I killed a monster, I would do the math before I killed it and grab a calculator and figure out what they were earning you. Alright, speaking of better armor, let's put that on right now. Aye. Quilted armor is better than... Oh, we're not even wearing our goddamn... Fine, we must have sold it by accident. Alright, we're wearing literally just a skull cap, so okay, well... Let's fix that. Quilted armor ain't so bad. Stairs to poisoned water supply. Here's the interesting thing. The original Diablo had multiple missions. You could get quests. I guess that's the right word. That you could get. And let's level our character up first. Let's put it into strength. But they were mutually exclusive in the sense that we got the Butcher. If you got the Butcher, you wouldn't get, as far as I recall, you would never get the poisoned water supply. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's you don't get the... There's one quest that brings you into the Tomb of Lazarus. Maybe that's one you don't get if you get the Butcher. It was kind of nice that there was these... yeah, there was this... I don't know if we need a robe. I'll pick it up for now. There was this procedural generation, not just in the design of the layouts, but in which missions you got. That not everything was universal. But as I said, I was pretty sure if you got the Butcher, you weren't getting the poisoned water supply. So I find it surprising to see that there. Let's check our J. Yeah, we have it.
I'm glad I caught up to you in time. Our wells have become brackish and stagnant, and some of the townspeople have become ill drinking from them. Our reserves of fresh water are quickly running dry. I believe that there is a passage that leads to the springs that serve our town. Please find what has caused this calamity, or we all will surely perish.
That would be Ogden telling you that, I think. Or maybe it's Pepin. Maybe it's Pepin who tells you that. I think it is Pepin. So if we went back to town and talked to him right now, he'd have that to say. That would be his... he'd give us that quest. But I guess because we found the poisoned well on our own, it just gives us the quest automatically. So you won't be going down there being like, what am I doing here? And then it screws up the flow of the quest, you know? Which is a good thing. That's the way it worked in... I believe that's the way it worked in the original Diablo as well. But I don't think you could get the Butcher and the poisoned water supply. I could be wrong. In any event, we're not going down there until we've cleared this level. Let's level up as much as we can and get some better equipment, perhaps. Maybe better armor. Although we should be actually looking for better armor and stuff before we meet the Butcher. He's possibly on this level. I'm not sure if he's here on level 3. How are we doing for experiences? See how much we need? We need another 4,000. I'm going to drink let's do Q for quick so we can see. I'm going to drink a potion of healing. I didn't want to waste a potion of full healing on that, but don't want to risk running into something that we can't handle. I'm in that weakened state. Yeah, amazing layouts for this map generator. I'm very impressed. You know what, let's come back and smash these open when we're about to go back to town. We can always get Pepin to heal us in town, right? A hidden. If I remember correctly, the hiddens in the actual Diablo game, they kind of turn invisible when they're not near you. I don't know if they do that here or not. I imagine they do. I imagine you did a pretty faithful recreation of that. It wouldn't be hard. But we certainly saw them. Yeah, a lot of people who play Diablo 2 won't recognize the original. I don't mean Diablo 2, although actually it's true of Diablo and Diablo 2. Won't recognize that not only, again, was it actually meant... Oh, neat. Was it meant to be a...
Where would I put this?
Up your butt.
I have no room.
Alright, let's go back to town and sell some stuff. But... Let me finish my thought. Not only was it meant to be turn-based, but if you actually look at Diablo or Diablo 2...
I sense a soul in search of answers.
It does take place on a grid, in the sense that you actually do move square by square. You can't be in between squares. It's not like a fluid motion. You move from one square to the next as do the monsters. So you can easily see the turn-based roots of it on full display right there. Keep the rest of this. Okay, thanks, Adria. Let's go back to Griswold.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
Don't need a cape. We're not using a short bow anymore. Don't need that cap. Don't need that robe. Don't need that short bow. What you got for sale that's awesome? Topaz cloak. Resistance to all is pretty good, but my armor would go down. I don't want that. We're happy with our weapon. We're not using longbows. So I reckon that's it. Couldn't afford that cloak if I wanted to. How about basic items? Is there boots and shit? I can't remember if that was the case in this game. Huh. No, nothing I need. Alright, let's go to Pepin. Get healed.
I'm glad I caught up to you.
Yes, I know.
What ails you, my friend?
I'm already on it, Pepin. Thank you for healing me. Alright. Interesting, too. You can find Towns of Scroll Portal, or Town Portal. You can easily see Moria's roots right there. That's an item directly out of Moria. Functions the same way. You cast it, it opens a portal beside you. If you walk through the portal, you go back to town, and you walk through the portal that remains in town, you go back to right where you left off. It functions in a similar way, I should say, not exactly the same way. But oh, I should have been doing this before I left, so I don't get hurt when I stick around. But having said that, I don't know if they're as necessary in this game, and that's a good thing. They're an item for convenience in this game, or in Diablo. They're there because it takes too long to walk back to town. But we already have the fast travel system, which makes it even easier to walk back to town in this game than it is in the original Diablo. Let's kill off these burning skeletons, burning dead, and these carvers, just because they're here. Until we don't see any monsters, let's keep fighting. Let's get this. Get this. Let's open some of this shit. I'll get it. I'll blow myself up. I'll grab this. What is this? Oh, a library book. Okay. Oh, that's good, I guess. Yeah, these are worth a lot of money. Okay. We're going to call it there, guys. We're going to save it. I'm going to come right back, though, and keep playing a little bit more, and then I've got to get to work. But yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say. We figured out some more stuff. I'm going to be right back. Have a good one.